Hi, my name is Abel Kirui, and today we'll be diving into the effect of holiday sales on Walmart by Zaya Persula, my teammates, and Obi and Malechi, and myself. Meet Dom, a regional manager who has multiple stores under his view. Dom having sites of over 30 different stores, he was curious on whether holidays really had an effect on sales, or was it just another normal season. Dom remembered that he had been keeping track of data over the years and wanted to know if by looking at the data, would it help the company understand if holidays really had an effect or an impact. He decided to hire us as a team to look over his data and see if there was any credible information he was missing that could help the company make better decisions or even improve or remove anything that could be affecting the company negatively. So we sat down, looked over the requirements, and looked over his data. We were able to come up with a solution and decided to use Fabric as the tool of choice to work on his data, and we were able to choose the perfect algorithm for his specific situation. Classification was the best choice out of all the different algorithms out there. We started working on his project. In our analysis with the dataset, 11,000 entries, the Bernoulli L and B model stood out to be the best out of 20 different models we evaluated. With this impressive metrics, including 99% accuracy, F1 score, and recall, alongside 99.8% precision, it showcased exponential capabilities in classification, highlighting its suitability for this specific problem. Here, we're able to see Walmart's data set. As you can see, we have three different KPIs. We have sales per month on the left side. We have 1.5 million on average different months. We have CPI, which tells us how customers feel in terms of spending money during holidays or non-holidays. And then we have holiday increase, in which you can see we have it at 19%, which tells us that holidays does really have an effect. If we're to look at specifically non-holiday sales on the top right chart, we could see that sales per month on average during non-holiday weeks was at 1.03 million. And CPI, which tells us if customers are willing to spend or not, was at 172. But if we're to look at the different holidays, we could see that sales increased by 19%, which is at 1.21 million, and CPI was even lower, which tells us that during holiday weeks, customers are willing to spend more, but we cannot really say that since we have more non-holiday weeks compared to holiday weeks. As we continued working on the project, we found ways to better the stores. We told Dom that we have two possible cases in which he could improve his specific stores that he was looking over. In case one, we have maximizing sales, whereas we do know that holidays do really have an impact of 19% compared to non-holiday weeks. But is it the maximum amount he could get from it? We explained that holiday sales did have an impact, as we saw before, according to his data. We told him that he can now increase how much he spent on targeted promotions during holiday weeks and even run ads during this time because it has a positive impact on sales. We also learned that even though it had a big increase throughout sales, we saw that we have a very low difference between if a customer is willing to spend during holiday weeks and non-holiday weeks, which was just a difference of -0.38, which is very low, which tells us customers are not willing to change that much. While discussing with Dom, we came up with a potential investment where he could gain up to 5% in sale, increasing 60,000 on top of the 19% that we saw before, yielding $60,000 in revenue on top of the 1.2 million views, 2 million in sales that we saw before. Even if he was to spend $20,000 on investing, he could still remain with $40,000 on average on top of the 1.21. Another potential case we had for Dom was driving non-holiday sales through store improvement. Since we only have a -0.38 from 171 to 172 between holiday and non-holiday sales, which tells us that customers are not really changing in terms of if they're willing to spend or not, by improving how stores look in terms of how they're arranged, how they're customized, what's being shown to the customers, we can improve the sales by $51,000, even if we're just shooting for 5% in difference on top of the 1.03 million we saw on the dashboard. on average during non-holiday weeks. Another potential investments. Even if Dom was to spend $30,000 on improvements and arranging and making all these different changes, just for shooting 5% increase during non-holiday weeks, which presents a direct return on investment opportunity for him and his company, yielding a net gain of approximately 21,000 on top of 1.03 million he was using. It could get customers to come more into the store, spend more, and be able to find what they're looking for. Let's say the stores are not clean or it was unorganized. You would find that less and less people tend to come to shop, or they would not even find what they're looking for, which could also retain customers coming back and forth, and stores' long-time success. Now we leave Dom with a decision to make. Run the stores as he used to before we showed up and told him all this information, or he could use case one, which is improving his marketing skills or shooting for campaigns, running promotions on all those stuff, spending $20,000 and gain 40,000 on top of the 1.2 million. Or in case two, he could decide and improve the look of the stores, making sure it looks good and all those stuff, spending $30,000 and gain $21,000. Now, with all this being said, what can we expect for the future? Future capabilities. Advanced predictive. With this, we can predict even more. Since we're only dealing with data for only 2 years, we're able to come up with a lot more, in which if we were to deal with maybe data for 5 years, 6 years, we can even tell and see how customers are willing to spend their money and stuff like that, which could improve our predicting. Dynamic pricing. Yes, we do know that customers do tend to spend more during non-holiday weeks, but that's more than holidays. So by improving or changing how different priced products are during holidays, we can see if customers are willing to spend this much during this time of the year or this much. We could lower and increase dynamically depending on the season. Optimizing inventory. What is being shown to the customer? If we're to change during winter, we see that, oh, more customers are willing to spend on jackets or sweaters and stuff. That's when we push it forward and show them more of those kind of products. Or if they're maybe buying more holiday stuff like Christmas cheese or Thanksgiving turkey, stuff like that, we show it to them. Customer sentiment. As we saw, we talked about improving stores, spending 30,000, gaining 21,000. Being able to understand how customers feel about the stores, looking at the data, and being able to control what they buy or see what they buy more and push that forward to them, and being able to retain them, which brings or increases the value of or the revenue of the company. Again, my name is Abel Kirui. Thank you for listening.